Today we are going to be checking out some of the free activities here in Whangarei.
Previously on day 337, part 1 of New Zealand's biggest gap year, we went to check out the iconic Whangarei waterfall, which are probably the most famous waterfalls in Northland. If you guys missed out on that episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get a notification every single time we release an awesome video about New Zealand.
So, next stop, Botanica, the land of ferns and exotic and native plants.
So we arrive at the Fernery Botanica. If you guys don't know what a fernery is, it's basically where you grow ferns, because ferns are very native in New Zealand and you need to grow a lot to do all the conservation work that the Department of Conservation is doing. This very specific fernery also has a conservatory, which has heaps of tropical and exotic plants.
There are two sections to Botanica, the Fernery and also the Conservatory. And first we're hitting the Fernery, which boasts having one of New Zealand's largest collections of native ferns in the whole of New Zealand and its offshore islands. But one thing we really love about the Fernery is all the eels in the eel ponds. Each of the rooms has little water features that are really cool to check out, as well as obviously all the ferns.
So Laura is now taking a picture of the other Whangarei Falls.
I'm not sure which one's better, really.
This one is the most impressive one, though.
The little water features are so cool, and it actually feels like we're back in the middle of New Zealand forest, just like all the many walks we have done around New Zealand during the last 300 and whatever days we're on now. What's really cool about the different rooms of the Fernery is that they're connected by these funky little doorways, especially this little tunnel right here is really cool. And in this room that we're entering right now, all the conditions are made perfect for growing ferns. For instance, in here it is misted twice a day and air conditioned so it's nice and cool and damp. And we even spot some native wildlife in here. Who needs to see real birds when you can just see pictures?
Honestly, this fernery is really well set up. Almost every single one of the fern have a little label that tells us what they are. It even tells us where we can find them in New Zealand, which I find super handy. As we're walking around the whole fernery, we get to discover a ton of different type of fern, which I find quite fascinating. I mean, you know, to me a fern was just a fern. Well, not anymore. I learned a lot. As Laura is falling behind taking a million pictures of the million of droplet-filled leaves that she can find, we are moving on to the conservatory, which has heaps of subtropical plants. In a conservatory we get to see tons of exotic palms, orchids and heaps of super colorful plants. It's quite amazing the variety of flowers that you can find in only one place. I mean, I'm super impressed. Plus there is a ton of different colors as well, making it for amazing pictures. It's such an amazing place where you actually want to spend time to look at every even details of flowers. It's so impressive. The cool thing about this conservatory is that they change the flower display quite regularly depending on the season and stuff, so it's quite cool. And there is also a fish pond because, you know, every conservatory needs its own fish ponds, right?
Another section of the conservatory is the Cacti House, which has all those spiny desert plants that you just can't help but want to touch, but you know you probably shouldn't. All the cacti are presented on sort of a rocky display, so it looks really awesome and authentic. It's kind of like your grandmother's greenhouse, but on steroids. And finally, after checking out all the desert plants, we move on to the final section of Botanica, which is the Japanese gardens. The Japanese gardens has some really simplistic displays, but also some really cool plants to check out, such as the bromeliads, the bear claw fern, and the large Hoya. And I want to take photos of every single one of them. They just look so cool. Botanica is definitely a must-do if you have any interest in plants, whether it's exotic or looking at native vegetation, but it's also a free thing to do in Whangarei, which is always a bonus in my book. But after checking out around the whole of the Botanica gardens, we spot a little bit of a stream with a bridge crossing over it, so we just have to go check it out. It looks really cool.
Laura takes a few minutes to take a million pictures of a simple duck because you know Laura by now, she loves to take pictures, and then we head back to our accommodation for Whangarei stay. It's the Bangtan Lounge. It's a really cool place to stay at if you want to visit Whangarei for an extended period of time. It's a vintage Corey villa. How awesome is that?
I'm going to be taking pictures of plants. I'm going to be looking at plants, smelling them. But first we must sit in traffic. Any moment now we will be moving. Any moment now. Robin has died on the side. I will show you something as soon as there's something to show. I'm getting ready for the entrance of Botanica. Oh my, oh here we go people!